Hi, I'm Les Stroud. Welcome to another episode of Wild Harvest. To learn about local foraging in a way that is sustainable and safe, it's best to do it by heading out with a local expert. You can learn from your books, you can go online, but nothing will replace heading out with someone who really knows what they're doing when it comes to the wild harvest. You know, one of the things you have to be careful about when it comes to harvesting from the wild is having it become an obsession. You'll start to see green everywhere you look. In fact, one time I was traveling from Turkey to Greece on a cruise ship. Every dock, every city street, every countryside, even by the ancient Greek and Roman ruins, I saw wild edible plants. So some of the excitement of traveling around the world is becoming familiar with plants you've never seen before. Then you get off your cruise ship in a place like Sitka, Alaska, and you immediately begin to sense the possibilities of the wild harvest. For our foraging and cooking expeditions this time around, Paul and I thought we'd try something completely different, utilizing the comfort of staying on a cruise ship, the Queen Elizabeth, as our base of operations. We could arrive in Sitka, Juneau, and Haines, Alaska easily. We'll forage on one day and cook on the next. Our first stop, and Paul's first time visiting Alaska, will be the beautiful port of Sitka. Calling Sitka, Alaska her home, Mary Goddard is a Tlingit native, a filmmaker, and an expert forager with intimate knowledge of the edible plants of this region of Alaska. This makes her, like me, a plant nerd, and we instantly bonded over discussions about wild edibles, roots, berries, leaves, and flowers. So, Mary, that's something that I've noticed. I don't know if you have this in your mind because you teach so many plants on that. We are into a whole new era of experimenting in a culinary way with wild edibles.
Yeah.
And I think that's just terrific. But you're going to show me about, what do we got?
Yeah, so this plant right here is called lovage, or a common name is beach parsley. And so I'm just going to break off a little piece. And then if you smell it, you can tell right away.
Oh.
Right? Like
what is that?
That's the parsley
Parsley.
smell. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the three leaves like this, the three little prongs, that it's lovage. But if you taste it, you can taste the leaf or the stem.
Mmm. Oh, that's parsley.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
To the freshest, right? Like instead of having to go to the store, I have access to it. And we get it in like this little wet areas, or even on the beach, you can find it.
So is it pretty abundant?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so what's the best way to harvest this?
When it's too purple, I don't really like to go after it. Like it's
too purple?
Like the stems, when they get
so
too woody like
older?
this, like
okay.
You can look and it just gets like that woody stem. It's like any herb, right?
Okay.
You don't want it when it's too old.
Okay.
You want it when it's still fresh and young. So any of the small stuff that you see close to the ground,
all right.
That's what I would go after.
Okay.
So you have a nice little patch right in front of you here.
I see this. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so even though it's purple, I'd go after those little ones, just not the bigger stalks.
Now, are we killing these when we're doing this, or what are we doing? We're just the leaves?
No, so
stems?
you can see how big each plant is.
Yep.
I just get a little bit from each one, and then I move on.
Okay.
So, you know, instead of taking the whole thing, I just take a little bit, and then I move on. It's just like an herb. Those plants are going to keep growing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, well, why don't you harvest some? I'll harvest some.
Okay.
Let's get busy. Lovage, also called by common name beach parsley, or in Latin, Ligusticum scoticum, is primarily an Arctic plant, with a range extending from Norway to the more northerly shores of the British Isles, and from western Greenland all the way to New England. I think we're doing pretty good. That's a good amount.
Yeah.
I think Paul should be able to do something with that. What I'd like to do is find another plant, but we're going to show him, you called it?
Sourdough.
Sourdock, and same family probably as curly dock?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go find that. Let's go find Paul first, and we'll pick it up there.
Okay, sounds good.
So the first plant that Mary showed me, it's got some nice punch to it, and it's got a very familiar flavor. But the plant we're going to look at now, my understanding is this is an obvious relative to what I call curly dock.
Yeah.
And there's a big, beautiful example, but this guy here.
Yeah, so this one's sourdough, and really what we're going to go after today is the leaves. So
Gosh, it's beautiful.
this one doesn't have a ton of leaves, but you can see even down here some.
We're just doing just a pick like that?
Just a pick. And where it's red, you kind of don't want so much of the red color leaves.
And when you harvest it from the plant, are you taking all the leaves, one leaf? Is there a percentage basis? How are you doing it?
You know, because it doesn't affect the seeds, you can take the leaves. Once they get past their prime, no one's going to come harvest them anyways.
It's right for the plant.
Yeah.
This is great. And
Yeah.
here we've got so much of it. So now, should he do a taste or?
I'm thinking so.
Or is this a cook it first thing?
Well, I think you're going to want to cook it first. You can taste it raw. It's going to be really, say, bitter. One way that Alaska natives would cook this is they would cook it, boil it for 20 minutes, drain it. They would add seal oil or some kind of fat.
Some kind of lard or fat, yeah.
And some kind of berries
Wow.
to sweeten it up. And they would eat it like that.
You know, this actually wasn't bitter at all.
That's what I thought too.
The
Oh,
piece
see, I
had was
thought
like,
mine was.
It's really good.
Mine almost had a little bit of a sour.
Okay.
Like I'm
yeah.
totally not,
Sourdough,
yeah, exactly. I'm not going with the pun there, but it actually had a sour taste to it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was very sour.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Now I want to try the younger leaf and see if it
but
has.
I'll bet once you boil it for 20 minutes, it's a wholly different flavor altogether.
20 minutes. My intuition is not to cook it long at all. Like
Okay.
just to go really quick, blanch
Yeah.
for fresh. But I'll play around with it.
All right.
Well, this is great. Why don't we harvest as much as you think you need, Paul? So now that you know what you're dealing with, you let us know when you think we've got enough. Why don't we just start harvesting? And we'll go for that. I'm excited to bring this into the kitchen.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll start
absolutely.
here.
Let's take a hike on a deep forest trail, brushing past pine boughs and fireweed. We'll know nature prevails. Let's cross a creek by stepping on stones.
Ooh, here's a good one.
Day packs, apples and trail mix our forest home. Yes, life is this easy if you'll take a moment to see. Nature is where
I think we're good. We have.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Check that out.
I know, that's what I call a bounty.
As I'm sitting here, it's just blowing my mind that I'm in Sitka, Alaska. I'm sitting in a forest that is completely covered with lichen and moss. The ocean's just over there. The one thing that's really apparent to me is the smells. It's probably the best air I think I've ever smelled in my life. It's so floral, so intensely fragrant. I really don't know how I'm going to capture this yet, how I'm going to put this onto a plate. Something will come to me, though. It's here. The answers are here.
All right, little plant ID time. I always want to make sure I get the Latin names right. This is Rumex arcticus. There are other varieties such as Rumex mexicanus, Rumex occidentalis. In fact, there's 13 varieties. It's a sorrel family characterized by the sour taste, the lemony taste of the leaves. And when it comes to the leaves, what I like to point out is that it has abundant basal leaves. So when you've got leaves at the base of a plant, usually all around it, those are basal leaves. So sourdock, as they call it up in Alaska, has a good grouping of basal leaves. It's going to be growing in a moist area. Always important. When you're IDing the plant, what is the location? If you have a toxic lookalike that grows in a dry region and the plant you want grows in a wet region, then look down at your feet. Where are you standing? Are you standing up on a dry hill or are you in a swamp? And so knowing the topography is really vital to knowing the plant and getting the identification right. These leaves I would characterize as lance-shaped. When you say lance-shaped, you know what I'm talking about. It's like the long end of a spear, right? I would also say they're smooth or entire because there's no spikes, right? They're just a nice smooth green leaf like that. Also, even though the basal leaves are kind of abundant on a plant like this, as you go up the stem, they really spread out and be described as getting few leaves on the stem. I'd also say these are alternating as well. So you see, you start putting all of that together, alternating leaves, smooth and entire, lance-shaped, the basal, the location, I'm in a wet area here, and you start to get to proper identification of Rumex arcticus. This is a great plant. Foraging in Sitka, Alaska completed. It's now time for Paul and I to get back on the Queen Elizabeth. Figuring out what to do with the lovage and sourdock will be the responsibility of Paul and Executive Chef Roland Sargonan. I want to get you guys right into this. So what we've done is we went on shore in Sitka. I was joined there by some Tlingit individuals that took me to areas that they know where they already harvest. We found some pretty cool wild edible plants, and not the kind that you can buy in the store. That's what we love about this, is these ingredients are not things you can buy in the store. So let me lay it out for you. It's not a challenge between the two of you. It's not a competition. We're working together. The real challenge is in highlighting the foraged ingredients. Have you worked much with foraged ingredients ever?
Some, but not as much.
Okay. And Paul, hey man, without further ado, why don't you bring up?
Okay, this is fun.
Yeah.
Let's do what we do.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Wow.
So this is called, well, nicknamed beach parsley, or lovage, all right? And this is part of the sorrel family. Here it's called sourdock. And this is a traditional food of the Tlingit people, as well as the beach parsley. So what I want to do now is leave these plants with the two of you. Go ahead, Paul knows this deal. Taste them, explore them, go through the textures, and I want chefs to do what chefs do. Okay, all right. Have fun, man. Welcome to the Wild Harvest.
Cheers, son.
Let's have a look.
Try the sourdock.
Very nice. It's got a citrusy taste to it,
But when I had a second piece, it was really bitter. So it's not consistent.
Yeah, let's figure something out. I mean, it looks interesting, interesting ingredients. Got a couple of ideas to do with it. Since it's got like a nice citrusy flavor, I think it should complement well with the fish.
Great idea.
Yeah. How's that view?
Yeah. Right?
Perfect location.
Yeah. This is crazy.
It's amazing. Amazing. You know what's my most favorite spice in the world? Cajun spice. I just love it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So we'll let that sit and marinate for a while. Let the flavors infuse into the prawns. What you call this again?
This is sourdock.
Sourdock.
So I'm gonna try something, Chef. I am sauteing this in a little bit of butter just to see how it goes. So this is sauteed. Here, try that, Chef. Okay.
Beautiful, actually. I like that.
There it is.
Big one.
Sounds like thunder.
It does sound like thunder, yeah.
Interrupted by a calving glacier.
Yeah.
Chef Roland has been with Cunard Cruise Lines for 25 years, and the executive chef of the Queen Elizabeth for 6 of those years.
So I'm gonna add the garlic to the lavage. A little heat would be nice, you know?
Okay, yeah, bit of spice.
For the spice, yeah.
I love a little bit of spice.
Have a taste.
Okay.
So that's got the wild lavage. It's got a bit of shallots, garlic, pinch of chili, a bit of red wine vinegar, some sunflower oil, and some olive oil.
Give that 10 minutes.
It will infuse, it will get even better.
It's gonna be great.
And here I've got the lavage, so I'm gonna finish it off with that.
I'm going in.
Go ahead.
Honestly, I think you could use a bit more of the lovage, the wild.
I've got more here. More.
Go more.
Go more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say go to town on it. I'm just gonna like denudate it right into there.
Yep.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're just gonna.
Great.
So I've got the beautiful halibut. Halibut is very, very delicate fish, so you do not want to overcook it. And it's just nice and tender and it doesn't get too dry. Yeah.
Look at our foraged ingredient.
Yeah.
That sourdough, the way it's caramelized.
Uh-huh.
That's really interesting. I love that.
It does, yeah. Okay, I think we're good. We can start plating. And voila. What do you think?
I think it looks wonderful. I see the ingredients, you know, the foraged flavors are right there, front row center. There's no doubt what you were serving in this dish looks fantastic.
And away we go.
Yes. Here you go. That's my creation for today.
Now, to be fair, Roland,
Yes.
what happens in these situations is, because sometimes I'm running third camera,
Yeah.
I try not to look at what you're doing. So this is legitimately really the first time my eyes are going, okay. So first off, we're gonna let Roland take this because this is his dish.
Yep.
All right, so this is my creation for today. Okay, so I've used an Alaskan halibut. Okay, so I've
Okay, Alaskan halibut, yep.
right there in the middle.
I see prawns, do I?
Yes, two prawns, Alaskan prawns as well.
Okay.
But the prawns I've marinated in a little bit of Cajun spice. Reason why, because I love Cajun.
Okay.
I love Cajun.
Fair enough.
And I think it's got a good combination to go with the chimichurri as well. So today I've used the wild
Lovage,
lovage.
yeah.
Wild lovage, yeah. So that actually made it a more distinctive flavor to the chimichurri itself. Okay. So halibut is always nice, delicate fish. You're talking about Alaska, really. So I'm just featuring Alaska with local ingredients and adding a little of my Asian influence, I would say, and also just as my skills as a chef, really.
All right. Well, first of all, brilliant. Right out of the starting gate, it's a complete win. It's completely delicious. What I'm enjoying, and as Paul has already likely mentioned to you, is the wild ingredient featured, or is it lost in the butter sauce? You know,
Yeah.
this sort of thing.
Very good tip you gave me.
Well, and I feel like it is featured. With wild foraged ingredients, you end up with flavors in your mouth that you can't pinpoint.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's pepper. Oh, that's this or that's that.
Yeah.
And I almost can never do that with a wild foraged ingredient because it's a new flavor. Paul, you happy with how this turned out?
It's delicious. And everything that you said, working with new flavors
That's right.
that you haven't had a chance to really experiment with before.
Yep, something new, yeah.
Yeah, and still showcasing Alaska.
This is, yeah, okay, we'll end this by going, this is absolutely delicious, right? Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
And Paul, over to you, bud.
Yeah, I know.
You're up next.
You're up next.
There we go.
But not before I finish eating this. You know, one thing that's for certain is when you are at sea, the weather can change awfully fast.
Very fast.
So now that we've left the glacier,
Yeah.
we're actually heading out to the open sea, and yeah, it's a little bit breezy.
It is getting very windy, isn't it?
Yeah. But you know what? It's part of the fun. Cooking outdoors and being outdoors, a lot of it is...
Part of the adventure.
It is.
We go with the flow, Paul.
That's right. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I love this stuff. It's amazing. One of my favorite tools.
Spider.
The spider. You can see the lemon blowing into that bowl.
Yep, I think that's good.
Okay, let's try this now, because you know where I'm going with that flavor-wise. Bing.
Perfect. Perfect.
A lot of butter in this one, on purpose. I'm gonna brown it first,
Brown it
and
first,
then I'm gonna stop the cooking process
Yeah.
by adding the dock,
Cool.
and then wilting it. And now you can see here it comes.
Perfect.
It's just a nice
Very
light
nice.
brown, and I think I'm good with that.
Good.
Here we go. Oh, there's that sound.
Look at that.
That's what we like. A little bit of salt. Go. I am going to do one more thing. I'm inspired. Essentially, I just want to deep fry these guys in there because we can.
Yep.
Now, I watched you do this. I thought maybe it's a really good idea if I followed your lead.
Glad you learned something from me. Happy to share my knowledge.
Why, thank you.
Gentlemen,
All right.
Hello.
you know they have the saying of what a difference a day makes? Well, in Alaska, it's literally what a difference 5 minutes makes.
That's true.
While you guys were working on your new creation, the weather came in. It's colder, it's windier, but of course we've also moved locations. We've come away from the glacier. Do you want me to eat quickly because it's cooling down?
No,
or-
there's no temperature
No hurry.
worries here
Great.
at all.
Your creation, your turn. I know you had the wind to battle, but what did you come up with, Paul?
What I did is I took the sourdough and I cooked it in browned butter. Also, I chose Alaskan smoked salmon because smoked salmon, number one, represents the fact that we're in Alaska, but it also, it's fatty. It has that ability to take on other flavors like sourdough. And then on top I have a blanched lovage salad. Earlier we were talking about this and we learned that the red leaves were not edible. I had a taste and I thought they were fine.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I'm going to use at least one leaf in a little,
Oh, so that's the
a little
color.
touch. That's the color.
That is great. Okay.
You made it into fine shreds, so I think it's easier to palate.
The last touch on the plate is the seed pods,
Okay.
and they've been deep fried in butter as well, just to help bring the flavors together.
All right. Well, let's give this a
Dig
try,
right in.
gentlemen. I'm going to put a lot of the greens on there and just go for it.
Yeah, I got a bit of everything on my fork.
I almost feel like you guys are cheating with this marvelous Alaskan fish. But I'm being facetious because in reality, you have complemented it beautifully, Paul. I can taste the beach parsley, I can taste the sourness of the sourdough, and I can feel the texture of it. And this fish is so beautiful and so fatty, but it's not overtaking the plate. The salmon is not taking over and winning the day.
Yeah.
It's the combination is winning, which is just amazing. And that is the reality of the wild harvest. It's the combination of life. It's the combination of what you do. You can travel in an RV, or you can go hiking. You can travel by cruise ship, or you can go sea kayaking. But either way, you step onto that land again. When you're done your traveling, You look down and there's this wonderful, green, beautiful, delicious bounty that you can enjoy. And so whatever way you like to travel, you get that opportunity to experience a whole new and unfamiliar wild harvest.
Let's take a hike on a deep forest trail. Yes, life is this easy if you'll take a moment to see. Nature is where we should be.
If you'd like to continue the Wild Harvest with me and Chef Paul Rogalski, then please check out our website at wildharvestfilms.com, where we have recipes and foraging tips along with deleted scenes and outtakes from the making of Les Stroud's Wild Harvest.
Directly inspired by the series, Chef Paul and expert forager Les Stroud bring you the Wild Harvest recipe book. Highlighting all of Paul's dishes and complete with behind-the-scenes stories, it is available for $29.99. In addition, a DVD of this season is also available for $19.99. To order, please go to wildharvestfilms.com, Wild Harvest TV show on Facebook, or Les Stroud's Wild Harvest on YouTube.